Am I the asshole for calling my hot-tempered guy coworker emotional to embarrass him into calming TF down? So I'm an engineer and I'm working on a team with 7 decently chill guys and 1 guy with anger issues. Like he can't just have a respectful disagreement, he'll raise his voice and yell and get up close to your face. I hate it. So I started by just complaining to my boss about it. And he brushed it under the rug saying he is just like that. And if I thought he was bad now, I should have seen him 10 years ago before he mellowed out. It makes me wonder what he was like 10 years ago, because he sure ain't mellow now. It's also a small enough company that there's no HR, only the corporate management. Which didn't help. So I took a different approach. I stopped calling him angry, or calling what he was doing arguing, or yelling. I just swapped in the words emotional, or throwing a tantrum, or having a fit. I was kinda hoping if I could shift his reputation from domineering, big man vibes, to emotional and tantruming, weak sad baby vibes. So I started just making subtle comments. Like if I had a meeting with him and he got a temper, I'd mention to the other people, wow, it's crazy how emotional Jay got. I dunno how he has the energy to throw a hissy fit at 9 AM, I'm barely awake. Or when my boss asked me to recap a meeting he missed, I told him, Dan, Jack, and James had some really great feedback on my report for this client. Jay kinda had trouble managing his emotions and had a temper tantrum again, but you know how he gets. Or when a coworker asked why he was yelling, I'd say, honestly I don't even know, he was getting so emotional about it he wasn't speaking rationally. I tried to drop it in subtly and some of my coworkers started picking it up. I don't think consciously, just saying stuff like, oh, another of Jay's fits, or something. I got gutsy enough to even start saying to his face, hey, I can hardly understand what you're trying to explain when you're so emotional. And again my coworkers started picking up on it and I even caught several of them telling him to get a hold of himself. After a while, he started to get a reputation as emotional and irrational. Which I could tell pissed him off. But he stopped yelling at me as much. Anyway, he slipped once this week and I just said, I really can't talk to you when you're being this emotional, and he blew up at me asking why I was always calling him that. I shrugged and said, dude, you look like you're on the verge of tears. Go look in the mirror before you ask me, and he got really angry. I suggested he might start crying. That was a kinda flippant comment. He was red-faced angry, not tearful angry, and I could tell. I feel like a bit of a dick for being petty and trying to gaslight this guy into thinking everyone around him sees him like a crybaby. But it also mostly worked when the proper channels didn't.